Channel 35, our city, our channel.
And as you know, today I'm releasing my proposed budget for fiscal year 2012-2013. This is a $7.2 billion budget. It is a balanced budget. Over the last 3 years, we faced one of the most challenging fiscal situations in generations, and in fact, to be specific, since the 1930s. Now, 2 years ago, the CAO estimated that our structural deficit would balloon to over $1 billion by 2013-14, as I was about to depart after 2 terms. That is roughly 24%, to be exact, 24.1% of the city's total general fund. Some even went so far as to predict municipal insolvency. If you remember, I took umbrage, and I did, because I said that we would be willing, working with the city council, to make the tough calls, the tough decisions, to make the structural cuts, which are ongoing cuts, that would put us on a more sustainable path forward. Now, we defied those dire predictions, taken action over the last 3 years to substantially reduce the structural deficit. Again, the structural deficit is the ongoing deficit. My budget is adopted without major changes. The gap projected for 2014 will shrink to below $200 million, or just 4.1% of the city's total general fund. So instead of $1 billion in deficits, structural deficit, 2013-14, we're looking at $199 million. So let me be clear. This city has demonstrated again and again and again that we will make the tough calls, that we will do what we need to do to set us on a path that is more sustainable going into the future, that protects vital services, and as much as possible protects our general fund. This $199 million is equivalent to 4.1% of the general fund. So we were looking at $1.1 billion by 2014, or 24% of the city's general fund, and now what we're looking at is $199 million, 4.1% of the city's general fund. We've worked together, we've made the tough decisions, and we've kept the city on a path of a long-term financial sustainability. My proposed budget continues this commitment to sound fiscal stewardship. 65% of the measures in this budget are ongoing and will permanently reduce the general fund structural deficit. This budget safeguards the city in a time of economic uncertainty by establishing a $211 million reserve fund. As a percentage of the general fund, this is the largest reserve fund set aside in 10 years, since 2002. Now, we've reached these goals through a set of careful and considered spending cuts. Every cut affects services. So we've used a scalpel, not an axe. I'm tightening my own belt by reducing my office budget by 8%. I'm asking the City Council to do the same. We've saved taxpayer money by finding ways for city departments to do things better and at a lower cost. Take one example. We'll save $1.6 million by renegotiating phone contracts and eliminating unnecessary phone and data lines. We're doing a number of things like that to find efficiencies. We've continued to find ways to bring in new revenues. I said in my State of the City as an example, according to the Office of Finance, a lot of the business initiatives that we've done have actually doubled the number of companies coming into the city at 500 with revenues of $500,000 and above. We're aggressive about seeking business, increasing the revenue pie. On a per capita basis, we've done all of this, protecting police hiring, protecting this police department. Let me be clear about something. It is not about, I don't do this to protect a legacy. I do this because I understand what it means to have a safe city. We all understand what it means to have a safe city. This is a different city today because it's so safe. In fact, on a per capita basis, let me share with you again, not since Eisenhower was in the White House and Warren was in the State House have we been this safe. We must keep moving in the right direction, so my budget continues to maintain the size of the LAPD at its current strength. This budget funds the replacement of police vehicles and other public safety equipment. It provides funding for our gang reduction and youth development program. It maintains funding for domestic abuse response teams. Quick, safe, and effective emergency response is one of the most important services provided by the Los Angeles Fire Department. With life and death on the line, Angelenos must be confident that when they call, the Los Angeles Fire Department will be there. This budget provides funding to operate 6 new ambulances and a Critical Valley engine company. The budget provides the funding so that the LAFD can start the recruitment and hiring of new firefighters. The LAFD is a world-class department for a world-class city. We intend to keep it that way. We have a duty to provide city services effectively and efficiently. LA taxpayers expect no less and deserve no less. Now, library doors will be open at every city library. We will maintain our graffiti abatement program. We'll support new and expanded recreation facilities and the city's 50 Parks initiative. We'll boost our street preservation program to 800 miles of streets, a 10% increase. We'll fill 50,000 more potholes, a 17% increase. This budget provides $2.5 million, I said in my State of the City, to start a new economic development organization dedicated to economic growth and job creation, as well as a quality of opportunity. And we attract the businesses of the future. With the jobs of the future, LA prospers. Now, to keep our fiscal house in order, we're going to have to reduce the long-term budget cost drivers: labor, health care, and pension costs. Every day, over 33,000 city employees come to work and serve LA, and they serve with distinction and with pride. I can tell you, whether it's the Department of Transportation or General Services, whether it's the ITA department, whether it's the library department or Parks and Recs, fire, police, I know that the people that come to work in this city put their all in their job. I know it hasn't been easy for them. They serve with pride, and I want to acknowledge that. But we're going to have to bring this year's budget into balance, and I will be recommending that we cut 669 positions. 230 of them are filled. And so there will be layoffs, as I said, in the State of the City in this budget. These cuts aren't abstract. They impact hardworking men and women and their families. I take it seriously. I understand that. Cutting these positions was one of the toughest decisions I had to make in this budget, but we have no other choice. In only 2 years, the city will be contributing 30 cents of every dollar toward retirement benefits for every dollar spent on salaries. 30 cents toward retirement benefits for every dollar spent on salaries. We can't continue that going forward. We just can't. To reduce our structural deficits, we're going to have to reform our pensions. My budget presents an ambitious 8-point pension reform plan. Today, people are living longer. I'm 59 years old. Early next year, I'm going to celebrate my 60th birthday. And you know what? I can't wait. I feel like I'm 30. You know, I really do. The fact is, we're all going to live longer, everybody. I'm not making it up. We're all living longer. I think the actuarial tables say something like 78 and above. And our pensions have to reflect that. Today, my plan will raise the retirement age to 67, consistent with the qualifying age for Social Security. This plan also controls the future growth of pension costs by capping the maximum retirement allowance, preventing pension spiking. These and other proposed changes will accomplish two paramount goals. One, they ensure the viability of the pension system. One of the things we're arguing with our labor partners, this is for future employees, we're saying, you want to make sure that your pension system is solvent going into the future. This is in everybody's interest to do that. But it also maintains our progress towards long-term financial stability and sustainability. Now, in the last 3 years, we've addressed our annual budget shortfalls and we've reduced our structural deficit. I'm confident that working with the City Council will succeed again this year. We continue to be committed to the values of shared responsibility and shared sacrifice. Continue to have a strong sense of resolve to follow the fiscally accountable path forward. We continue to believe that common sense must guide the common good. Working together, we'll build a stronger LA for the families we serve and for the generations to come.